ng on changes. Ng on changes will create an object. That means whenever the change occurred, I want to create an object, change object. I want to create a change object. This change object should be of type simple changes. That means this change object should be of type simple changes. It is of type simple changes. Simple changes. That means we are creating an object of type simple changes. What this changes object can do is changes, simple changes. Observe, go to the definition of simple changes. You can see simple changes is coming from simple change, is using a property called simple change. So that means simple changes have a property called simple change. Okay, go to definition. That means go to definition. This simple change have previous value. Observe, it is a class. It is having previous value, current value, first change. That means it is containing the information about the previous value, current values and all. That means simple change provides this. Simple change provides. So the object, that means simple changes, reference object provide access to previous value. It will provide access to the current value, and it have so many other first change and is first change. So it will provide first change and is first change, like this. These are all the options. So by using that changes object, that means now changes object, this is the changes object we are having, change object we are having. This change object can access all the properties of these simple changes. Then how do we access the properties of that particular object? I will write a for loop for where property in change object, or where property in change object. That means we are accessing the properties from change object. Property in change object. In operator is used to read all the properties, and we will store every property in a variable. Here we will collect the properties. And property values, we will collect the property related values. How we can access all the properties? We are just defining. Already we learned how to access the properties and values from an object. Iterators we are using here. So now here I will just keep here this property. So property is equal to so changes. So we have change object of property. We are passing this property. That means whatever the values present in this particular property, those can be accessed by using this prop. That means now this change object is using a foreign statement. We are using a foreign statement to read every property and its value and store in this reference. That means now this property, generally reasonably we can use any name for that. This property contains previous value and current value. This property contains so many things. So we can alert those properties and see them, what properties it is having. So one by one, we can read all the properties and use the properties. As of now, we already went to the definition and saw that it contains current value and previous value. So here I will declare two properties, public current value. Okay, and public previous value. And I will apply those values here. So this dot current value is equal to property, this property dot, we have current value, we can access the current value. This dot previous value is equal to the property dot, we can access the previous value. That means what value is there before change and what value is there after change. These values we are collecting by using ng changes event. Actually, it is keeping those values internally with it. It is not exposing to us, but we are writing a logic to pull those values and see what changes are happening, how the changes are happening. So that means now current value and previous value are stored in these properties. We will display in the child component. In the child component, here I will just create a simple data list. So with a data term. So this is current value. So the previous value and the current value. So this is the previous value, data term. This is previous value. And we need to print the previous value and current value here. So previous value is coming from previous value property. Current value is coming from the current value property. And you can observe here when we run this, I will type here the first value, this is J, and see the previous value is empty. There is no previous value. Current value is J. So previously it is empty. And I entered JO. Then you can see that the previous value is J. So just for this child component, so in the padding, I will keep as 30 pixel padding. Okay, now it is fine. Now you can see here, I am entering the value here, J, and previous value is empty, nothing is there. Now I type here JO, and you can see the previous value is J, current value is JO. That means we are typing the values here. This is identifying those values. The previous value is JO and the current value is JOHN. That means ng model is actually using the previous value and current value. It is verifying, is previous value and current value both are different. If different, then it identifies that the change occurred and automatically it will update the change. If previous value and current value are same, that means no change occurred. Then it will not update anything. Updates will automatically happen when it identifies the changes. If it identifies the difference between the previous value and current value. Suppose I am removing this John, and you can see previous value is John and current value is different. Current value I am asked David. For every character, it will identify that. So every character, the previous value that you have typed is the character it will access.